We've all heard the saying, dogs can smell fear. Maybe someone told you that when you were a kid, right before a big dog started barking at you. But is it actually true, or just something people say to scare us into staying calm? Believe it or not, science says there's a lot more truth to that old saying than you might think. Dogs really can sense fear, not in some magical, supernatural way, but through real biology and chemistry. When we're scared, our bodies release certain chemicals that literally change the way we smell. And to a dog's superpowered nose, that change is impossible to miss. In today's video, we're diving deep into the hidden chemistry behind fear, how your body reacts when you're scared, how dogs detect it, and what it means for your relationship with your furry friend. Stay with me till the end, because this one might just change how you see your dog forever. So, let's start with what happens to you when fear hits. You know that feeling. Your heart starts pounding, your stomach twists, your palms get sweaty, and your breathing gets shallow. That's your body's built-in alarm system kicking in, something scientists call the fight or flight response. When your brain senses danger, real or imagined, it instantly releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These chemicals race through your bloodstream, preparing your body to either face the threat or run away from it. Your heart pumps faster to move oxygen to your muscles, your pupils widen to help you see better, and your sweat glands activate to cool you down. But here's the part most people never think about. That sweat, along with your breath and skin oils, carries chemical signals. They're not visible, and you probably can't smell them yourself, but they float into the air around you. And that cloud of invisible chemicals tells a very clear story to a creature with an extraordinary nose. To understand how dogs can smell fear, you first need to understand just how incredible their sense of smell really is. We humans have around 5 million scent receptors in our noses, which sounds like a lot, until you compare it to a dog. Depending on the breed, a dog can have anywhere from 100 million to over 300 million scent receptors. That's up to 60 times more sensitive than ours. And it's not just about quantity. Dogs have a special part of their brain dedicated entirely to processing smells. And it's about 40 times larger, proportionally, than the same part of a human brain. That means when we catch a whiff of something faint, a dog is experiencing a whole world of scent layers, each one telling them a story. They also have a unique organ called the vomeronasal organ, or Jacobson's organ, located in the roof of their mouth. This organ helps detect chemical signals that don't even register to the human nose, like pheromones and emotional compounds released from sweat. So when you're scared, and your body is pumping out all sorts of subtle changes in odor, your dog is getting the full sensory broadcast, loud and clear. So what exactly are dogs smelling when they detect fear? It all comes down to the mix of chemicals your body releases when your emotions spike. When you experience fear, your sweat composition changes. The glands responsible, called apocrine glands, produce a thicker type of sweat full of proteins, fatty acids, and hormones. This isn't the same as the sweat you get from exercise. It's emotional sweat. When those compounds break down, they release a different scent signature. At the same time, your stress hormones like cortisol can affect your breath and body odor too. Tiny molecules of stress-related compounds escape through your skin and mouth. Together, these create what scientists call a chemosignal, basically a chemical fingerprint of your emotional state. You might not smell the difference, but your dog absolutely can. And they don't just notice, they react. How dogs react when they smell fear. If you've ever been nervous around your dog and noticed them acting differently, you've already seen this in action. Maybe they start pacing, sniffing you more than usual, or even acting anxious themselves. Some dogs, on the other hand, will become protective, staying close, licking your hand, or staring at you with concern in their eyes. Dogs are emotional mirrors. They evolved alongside humans for thousands of years, learning to read our every cue, our body language, tone of voice, facial expressions, and yes, even our scent. When they pick up the smell of fear, they know something's wrong. They might not understand the concept of fear like we do, but they recognize that something about your chemistry says, my human is uneasy. It's their instinct to respond. In the wild, sensing fear in another animal meant danger was near. So, when your dog smells that chemical signal, their body reacts. Maybe they become alert, tense, or on edge. But because they love and trust you, most of the time their reaction is one of concern. They want to comfort you or find out what's wrong. Think about it. Have you ever noticed your dog acting clingy when you were nervous before a big event? Maybe they came to sit beside you before a job interview, or they licked your hand when you were feeling anxious. That's not coincidence. Or what about when you're scared? Say during a thunderstorm or a horror movie, and your dog starts acting differently too. They're not reacting to the thunder or the TV sounds alone. They're responding to your changing scent and body language. Even trained therapy and service dogs rely on this ability. Many emotional support dogs can detect panic attacks before they happen. They sense the chemical shift in their owner's body, even before the person consciously feels the fear. That's how some dogs can alert their owners before seizures, stress spikes, or emotional breakdowns. It's not magic, it's chemistry. Now, let's back all this up with some real science. Researchers have actually tested this idea, and the results are fascinating. In one study, scientists collected sweat samples from people in 2 different situations. One group watched a horror movie to induce fear, and another watched something calm. Then, they exposed dogs to each scent sample while observing their behavior and heart rate. The results? When the dogs smelled the fear sweat, their heart rates went up, and they showed more signs of stress and alertness, like pacing, ears twitching, and staying closer to their owners. When they smelled the calm sweat, they were relaxed and neutral. Another study used scent samples to test how dogs respond to human emotions like happiness or anxiety. The dogs consistently reacted differently to fear scents, suggesting that they truly can detect and interpret the chemical cues behind our emotions. So yes, science confirms it. Dogs can quite literally smell your fear. Now, the big question: why would dogs evolve this ability in the first place? It all comes down to survival and communication. In the wild, animals rely heavily on scent to read one another. Fear signals warn others in the group that danger is near. For wolves, the ancestors of modern dogs, smelling fear in their pack could mean it's time to fight, flee, or prepare for something bad. When dogs evolved alongside humans, they kept that skill. But instead of just reading the fear of other dogs, they started reading our emotions too. And that's one of the secrets behind why dogs became such incredible companions. They can tune into us in ways no other species can. They sense our happiness, sadness, stress, and yes, fear, just through subtle chemical and behavioral changes. It's not just a bond. It's biology working hand in hand with love and loyalty. How fear smells affect your dog's behavior? When your dog smells that fear scent, it can affect their mood and behavior in several ways. Some dogs become anxious because they interpret your fear as a signal that something is wrong. Others may become protective, standing guard, or positioning themselves between you and whatever they think is causing the problem. In some cases, dogs may even become more reactive when they sense human fear. For example, if you're nervous around another dog, your own dog might react aggressively, not because they're mean, but because your fear scent tells them, there's danger here. They're responding instinctively to what your body is broadcasting. That's why trainers often tell people to stay calm around dogs, especially new ones. When you're relaxed, your scent is neutral and inviting. But when you're scared, your body releases signals that can make a dog uneasy or suspicious, even if you're trying to act brave. What this means for dog owners? Knowing all this gives us a deeper understanding of how emotionally intelligent dogs really are. They're not just reacting to our words or actions, they're reacting to our chemistry. That's why emotional control and calmness can make such a big difference in training and bonding with your dog. If you ever feel anxious or stressed, it helps to take a few deep breaths, slow your movements, and speak softly. Dogs respond not just to scent, but to energy and tone. The calmer you are, the calmer they'll be. And if your dog seems nervous around you when you're upset, don't take it personally. They're just responding to what they sense. Offer them comfort, sit with them quietly, and let your calmness spread to them. You'll both feel better for it. At the end of the day, the fact that dogs can smell fear is more than just a cool scientific fact. It's a reminder of how deeply connected we are to them. Dogs experience our emotions in a way that no technology or words could ever replicate. They don't need us to explain how we feel. They just know. When you're scared, your dog doesn't judge you. They come closer. When you're anxious, they lie beside you, even if they don't fully understand why. They sense your fear not as weakness, but as a call for comfort. That's what makes dogs so special. So the next time you're feeling afraid, remember this: your dog knows. They smell it, they sense it, and in their own quiet way, they're telling you, it's okay, I'm here. If this video helped you understand your dog a little better, Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel reach more dog lovers like you. Have you ever noticed your dog acting differently when you were scared or anxious? Maybe they cuddled up close or barked at something you didn't even notice. Share your story in the comments below. I love reading about those amazing dog instincts. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Until then, take care of yourself, stay calm, and give your pup an extra cuddle. Because whether you're scared, sad, or smiling, they always know what your heart feels.